Listen to me. I don't care where you are right now. I don't care how many times you failed, how many times they counted you out, how many times life hit you in the mouth. You can't quit now. You've come too far to give up. You've cried too many tears, sacrificed too many nights, put in too much work to walk away empty-handed. I know it's hard. I know you're tired. But guess what? So was everybody else who ever made it. The difference is they didn't stop. When life knocked them down, they got back up. When the doors closed, they kicked them open. When nobody believed in them, they believed in themselves. You've got that same power inside you, but you've got to make a decision today. Are you going to fight for it or fold under pressure? You see, success ain't for the weak. It's not for the ones who do it when it's easy. It's for the ones who keep going when it's hard, when it's painful, when it's lonely. It's for the ones who wake up at 4 a.m. when everyone else is sleeping, because they know dreams don't chase themselves. You might be in the middle of a storm right now, but storms don't last forever. You might be broken or beaten, but as long as you've got breath in your lungs, you've got another chance. Somebody listening right now, you're one step away from your breakthrough, but you're thinking about quitting. Don't you dare. Don't let the pain stop you. Let it push you. Don't let the struggle break you. Let it build you. When you say, I can't do this anymore, remind yourself, you've said that before and you made it through. You survived everything that tried to destroy you. You're stronger than you think, smarter than you know, and closer than you realize. So today, I need you to dig deep. Deeper than ever before. Find that fire that got you started. Remember why you began this journey. Because when you remember your why, your how will always show up. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to fold. This is the time to stand tall, to fight back, and to claim what's yours. I dare you keep going. I dare you believe when nobody else does. I dare you to never, ever give up. Because the moment you refuse to quit is the moment life starts moving in your favor. Keep grinding, keep pushing, keep believing, because winners never give up. Pain is temporary. Quitting lasts forever. That one line can change your whole life if you truly understand it, because pain, no matter how deep, how heavy, or how long it lingers, is never permanent. It fades, it transforms, it teaches. But quitting leaves a mark that never heals. It stays with you. It whispers in your ear every time you see someone else living the dream you walked away from. It follows you like a shadow, reminding you not of what you failed to do, but what you chose not to fight for. Pain hurts, but regret destroys you from the inside out. You've got to understand that everything great, everything worth having comes with pain attached to it. There's no success without sacrifice. There's no growth without struggle. The road to greatness is paved with sleepless nights, sore muscles, broken hearts, and tired minds. But that pain you feel when you're grinding, that pain that makes you question why you even started, that pain is proof that you're in the right place. It's the signal that you're pushing past your limits. It's your body, your spirit telling you that you're transforming. And transformation always hurts before it heals. But when you quit, when you stop in the middle of that transformation, you don't just stop the pain. You stop the progress. You freeze yourself in that unfinished state. You lock yourself in the almost made it, almost succeeded, almost changed my life, but almost never changed anybody's life, almost never built empires, almost never inspired the next generation. You either go all the way or you stay where you are. And that's the difference between pain and quitting. One builds you, the other breaks you. I know what it feels like to hurt, to wake up and not want to move, to try and fail again and again until you start to wonder if you're even meant for this. I've been there. I've seen people lose everything and still keep going. And I've seen people give up right before their blessing showed up. And every time I watch someone quit, I can see it in their eyes later. The moment they realize that their pain had an expiration date, but their regret does not. You can recover from failure, but quitting is a wound that doesn't close. It turns into a story you keep telling yourself for the rest of your life, a story of what if. You have to start seeing pain differently. Stop treating it like your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Pain is your personal trainer. pushing you to become the best version of yourself. Every time you feel like giving up, remember this: pain is not trying to stop you, it's trying to prepare you. It's carving out the space for the blessing you've been praying for. It's strengthening the parts of you that'll be needed to hold that success when it finally comes. Because if you can't handle the pain of growth, you won't be able to handle the weight of success. Look at every champion, every leader, every person who ever made something out of nothing. They all went through pain. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before the light bulb worked. Eric Thomas was homeless before he became one of the world's top motivational speakers. You think they didn't want to quit? You think they didn't cry, break down, and question everything? Of course they did. But they understood that pain was a process and quitting was not an option, because they knew pain was temporary, but quitting would last forever. When you're in the middle of your storm, your brain starts to play tricks on you. It tells you that it's not worth it, that you're not strong enough, that maybe this dream just isn't for you. But that's the exact moment when you're closest to your breakthrough. The pain you're feeling isn't a signal to stop. It's a signal that you're getting close. The closer you get to victory, the harder it gets. The enemy throws everything at you right before you win, because he knows if you take one more step, everything changes. That's why so many people quit, not because they can't handle pain, but because they don't realize how close they are to the other side. You've got to build that mindset that says, no matter how bad it hurts, I'm not stopping. You've got to be willing to cry, crawl, stumble, but keep moving forward, because every second you hold on through the pain, you're building something inside you that can't be broken: resilience. And that resilience becomes your armor for life. Because if you can survive this pain, you can survive anything. When others break, you'll bend but never fall. When others stop, you'll keep moving. And one day you'll look back and realize that all that pain was worth it, because it turned you into a warrior. Quitting might feel like relief for a moment, but that relief turns to bitterness fast. You'll see other people keep going, people who started where you did, and you'll realize the only difference between them and you wasn't talent or luck. It was endurance. They decided to feel the pain instead of running from it. They decided to keep going when it didn't make sense. They decided to hold on when everything told them to let go, and that decision changed their life forever. Pain tests your limits, but quitting defines them. You've got to stop expecting the road to be smooth. Nobody said it would be easy. The dream you have is supposed to test you. It's supposed to stretch you until you become the kind of person who deserves to have it. Because if it came easy, it wouldn't last. And if it came without pain, you wouldn't appreciate it. The grind is what gives value to the goal. The pain is what gives weight to the victory. You can't have one without the other. So when you feel that pain in your body, in your heart, in your mind, don't run, embrace it. Tell yourself, this is temporary. I can handle this. Tell yourself, this too shall pass, because it always does. The night always ends. The storm always clears. And when it does, you'll still be standing stronger than you've ever been. But if you quit, that's where your story ends. You'll never know what was waiting for you just one step further. There's somebody right now watching you, counting on you not to give up. Your family, your future, your purpose, they're all waiting for you to fight through this season. Every time you choose to endure instead of escape, you're sending a message to the universe that you're ready for more. You're proving that you can handle the blessing that's coming, because the truth is, pain is temporary, but the strength you gain from it lasts forever. Think about the moments in your past when you thought you couldn't survive, but you did. You made it through heartbreaks, failures, losses, disappointments. You've already been through enough pain to know that it doesn't last. So why would you quit now when you've already survived worse? You've got the scars to prove that you can take a hit and keep moving. You've got the history to prove that no pain has ever been strong enough to break you. And this one won't be any different. You are not your pain. You are not your struggle. You are the person who survives them. You are the person who endures and evolves. You are the person who turns pain into purpose and struggle into strength. So the next time life hits you hard, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because there's always a lesson behind the pain, and those lessons will become your power. Keep reminding yourself, pain is temporary. It doesn't last. It will fade. The soreness, the exhaustion, the frustration, they all pass. But if you quit that, joy stays with you forever. You'll replay that moment in your mind 1,000 times, wishing you had just pushed a little longer. You'll wonder what could have happened if you had held on one more day, one more rep, one more try. Don't let that be your story. Let your story be the one where you stood tall, where you refused to give up, where you took the pain and turned it into power. Because when you finally reach your dream, when you finally stand on that mountaintop and look back, you'll realize that every tear, every sleepless night, every ounce of pain was worth it. You'll see that pain didn't stop you. It shaped you. It molded you into the person you needed to be to handle that success. And you'll smile, not because it was easy, but because you didn't quit. And that will be the moment you truly understand. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. You've come too far to give up now. You've been through too much, sacrificed too much, and endured too many nights of pain to walk away now. You might not be where you want to be yet, but you're not where you used to be either. Every step you've taken, every struggle you've overcome, every tear you have shed has brought you closer to the life you've been fighting for. And now when the finish line is closer than ever, you feel tired, worn out, maybe even hopeless. But listen to me, this is not the time to stop. This is the time to push harder than you ever have before, because quitting now would make everything you've gone through mean nothing. Think about everything you've already survived. There were moments when you thought it was over, moments when you said to yourself, I can't do this anymore. But you did. You got up when you didn't feel like it. You kept going when nobody believed in you. You pushed through pain, disappointment, and fear. You made it through storms that could have destroyed you, and you're still standing. That alone is proof of your strength. You didn't come this far just to let the pain win. You didn't climb this high to let your dream die on the mountain. You came this far because deep down, you knew you were made for more. Every time you pushed through exhaustion, every time you ignored the voices telling you to quit, every time you showed up when you could have stayed in bed, you built momentum. That momentum has carried you here to this exact moment. And now you're thinking about giving up because you can't see the reward yet. But that's how it always feels right before the breakthrough. You can't see it yet, but it's coming. It's closer than you think. The moment you feel like you can't take another step is often the moment you're one step away from everything you've ever wanted. You've come too far to turn around now. You've invested too much time, too much sweat, too much heart to let fear stop you. Don't throw away all those nights of struggle for a moment of weakness. Don't let your temporary emotions make a permanent decision. You think the people who made it never felt like quitting? They did. But they remembered why they started. They reminded themselves of all the sacrifices they made to get there. They looked back at the distance they'd already covered and said, I've come too far to give up now. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to look back for a second, not to live in the past, but to remind yourself that everything behind you was the price you paid to be here. You can't afford to waste that price. Every day you fought through pain, every time you chose discipline over comfort, every time you sacrificed fun, sleep, or peace for progress, that was a down payment on your dream. And now when it's almost time to collect, you're thinking of walking away. That's like climbing 99 steps of a 100-step staircase and turning back. It doesn't make sense. The hardest part always comes at the end. That's life's way of testing whether you're really serious about what you said you wanted. Anybody can start, but very few can finish. You've already proven you're not like everybody else. You started and you're still here. That means you've got something special inside you. You've got heart, and heart is what carries you across the finish line. Sometimes you don't realize how far you've come because you're too focused on how far you still have to go. But take a breath. Look back. You've grown. You've changed. You've evolved. The person you are today isn't the same person who started this journey. You're stronger. You're wiser. You're tougher. You're more capable than you were before. That's the reward of the grind. It doesn't just move you closer to your goal. It transforms you along the way. So even if it feels like nothing's working, even if it feels like you're stuck, remember, progress isn't always visible, but it's always happening. Every day you show up, you're growing. You've come too far to give up now because you're finally becoming the person who can handle the dream you've been chasing. That's what the struggle was about. It wasn't just about getting what you want. It was about becoming who you need to be. And that version of you the one who's been built through pain, failure, rejection, and resilience, that version of you deserves to see the finish line. You owe it to yourself to finish what you started. When you started this journey, you had a reason, a why. Maybe it was your family, your future, your freedom, or your faith. Maybe it was the desire to prove something to yourself. Whatever it was, that reason is still there. You just lost sight of it because the pain got loud, but your purpose hasn't changed. It's waiting for you at the end of the road. You've already survived the hardest parts. You've already done the work most people aren't willing to do. Don't let a moment of fatigue erase years of effort. Rest if you need to. Take a break, catch your breath, but don't you dare quit. There will always be moments when doubt creeps in, when it whispers in your ear that it's pointless, that you're not good enough, that maybe you should stop. But remember, doubt is the enemy of destiny. It only shows up when you're getting close to something great. The fact that you're questioning yourself right now means you're on the edge of something big. That's why it's hard. That's why it hurts, because you're being stretched. Growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is painful. But quitting doesn't make it easier. It just makes it meaningless. You've got to fight for your future like your life depends on it, because it does. You've got to look at everything you've endured, the rejection, the disappointment, the sacrifices, and let it fuel you. Let it remind you that none of that pain was for nothing. You didn't go through all that to stop halfway. You didn't climb that mountain to sit down before the summit. You didn't survive all those storms just to drown when the shore is in sight. You've come too far to give up now. Every person who's ever made it will tell you that there came a moment when they wanted to walk away, but they didn't. They pushed one more time. They tried one more time. They believed one more time. And that one more time changed everything. It's always that one more step, one more try, one more moment of faith that makes the difference. You got to give yourself that chance. You got to stay in the fight long enough to see what happens if you don't quit. Think about the version of yourself who started this journey. They dreamed of being where you are now. They prayed for this progress. They believed in you enough to start. Don't betray that version of yourself by quitting now. They trusted you to finish. They trusted you to push through the pain. And one day, the future version of you, the one who makes it, will look back and thank you for not giving up. There's a reason it's called the breaking point. It's the moment when you either break down or break through. And that choice is yours. You can choose to let the pressure crush you, or you can use it to propel yourself forward. You've come too far to let the weight of the world stop you now. You've carried it this long. Don't drop it before you see where it's taking you. Every ounce of pressure you feel right now is shaping something powerful inside you. That pressure is producing strength, patience, and resilience that will serve you for the rest of your life. You may not realize it now, but you're writing your comeback story. Every tear, every setback, every moment you wanted to quit is part of the story that will inspire someone else one day. Somebody out there will look at your journey and say, if they didn't give up, maybe I can keep going too. You don't just owe it to yourself to finish. You owe it to every person watching who needs hope. You owe it to every person who's fighting their own battle to see that it's possible to keep going even when it hurts. So keep pushing, keep grinding, keep believing. You've come too far to give up now. You've built too much to destroy it with doubt. You've prayed too hard to let fear win. You've sacrificed too much to walk away empty-handed. This is your time to dig deeper, to push harder, to remind yourself who you are, why you started. You've been through the fire and you're still here, which means you're not done yet. One day, when you finally reach your dream, you'll look back and realize that everything you went through was necessary. The struggle built your strength. The pain built your patience. The setbacks built your wisdom. And you'll be grateful that you didn't quit when you felt like it. You'll stand tall, proud, and say, I made it because I refused to give up. You've come too far to stop now. The finish line is waiting. Keep moving, keep believing, keep fighting, because everything you've ever dreamed of is just a few steps beyond the point where most people give up. Life will always test you. It will push you to the edge. It will break you down. It will make you question everything you thought you knew about yourself. But it's in those moments when everything seems to be falling apart that your true character is revealed. When you're at your lowest, when you're tired, when you've been rejected, when you've been overlooked, that's when life is really asking you a question: how bad do you want it? And most people, they stop right there. They let the pain define them. They let the failure become their identity. But the ones who rise above it, the ones who keep pushing through even when they can barely stand, that's what separates the great from the average. You see, pain isn't just something to be avoided. Pain is a teacher. Pain refines you. Pain breaks down the weakness so the strength can emerge. The problem is most people want the success, but they don't want the process. They want the glory, but they don't want the grind. They want the results, but they don't want the struggle. But you can't have one without the other. The fire that refines gold is the same fire that burns away the impurities. Without the heat, the gold never shines. And without the struggle, your greatness never surfaces. Think about it. Every single champion you've ever admired went through something. They've been told no 100 times. They've failed. They've lost. They've been broken. But what made them great wasn't that they avoided those moments. It's that they faced them head on and refused to quit. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. You see, it's not the success that defines you. It's what you do after you fail. That's where the magic happens. When you get knocked down, you have two choices: stay down or get up. And getting up, that's where the power lies. Because every time you get up, you become stronger, wiser, tougher. Every time you rise after being knocked down, you tell the world, you can't stop me. Every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every no brings you one step closer to the yes. But the key is persistence. You can't just try once and give up. You have to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it. There are going to be mornings when you don't want to move, days when your body hurts, your mind is tired, and your heart feels heavy. But that's when you have to remind yourself why you started. That's when you have to dig deep and find that fire inside. Because success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Discipline will take you places that motivation can't. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when the excitement fades. And I get it. Sometimes it's hard to keep going when everything around you is falling apart. You look around and see people who seem to have it easy. You see people who didn't have to struggle like you did. And you start to think, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But let me tell you something. Every warrior has scars. Every champion has a story of struggle. Every success is built on a foundation of pain, sacrifice, and sleepless nights. You can't compare your journey to someone else's because you don't know what they've been through to get there. Focus on your path. Focus on your grind. Focus on your purpose. When life hits you, don't just take the hit. Use it. Turn your pain into fuel. Turn your setbacks into strength. Turn your frustration into focus. Every tear, every disappointment, every failure is shaping you into the person you were meant to be. There's purpose in your pain, but you'll never discover that purpose if you quit halfway. You got to go through it. You got to keep pressing forward, because the moment you decide to quit is the moment you rob yourself of the victory that was waiting just beyond the struggle. I remember hearing a story about a miner who spent years digging for diamonds. He worked day and night, breaking rocks, sweating, bleeding. After years of no success, he gave up. He walked away, tired, defeated, hopeless. A week later, another miner came to the same spot, dug a few more feet, and found one of the largest diamond mines in history. That first man quit when he was only inches away from everything he had ever wanted. And that's how most people live their lives. They stop too soon. They give up just before the breakthrough. They walk away right before the miracle. Don't let that be you. You might not see progress right now. You might feel like your effort is wasted. But understand this: every small step forward counts. Every ounce of effort matters. Every drop of sweat brings you closer to your dream. You may not see the results today, but that doesn't mean the work isn't paying off. Seeds don't grow the day you plant them. They take time, patience, care. Keep watering your dream. Keep believing, because one day it's going to bloom. And when it does, you'll realize that every struggle was worth it. The truth is, quitting won't make the pain go away. It only trades temporary relief for permanent regret. Regret will haunt you far longer than failure ever will. Failure hurts, but it teaches you. Regret destroys you because it reminds you of what could have been. So if you're thinking about giving up, don't. Rest if you must. Cry if you need to. But don't you dare quit. You've come too far. You fought too hard. There's too much inside you to throw it all away. At the end of the day, it's not about who's the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. It's about who's willing to endure the longest, who's willing to take the hits and keep moving, who's willing to stand tall when everything inside them wants to fall apart. Because the truth is, persistence always wins. Not because it's easy, but because it's relentless. You can't stop a person who refuses to quit. So when life pushes you down, when people doubt you, when the world says you're done, smile and say, watch me. Because the one who endures the storm earns the sunshine. The one who survives the fire comes out refined. The one who refuses to quit becomes unstoppable. Keep fighting, keep believing, keep moving forward, no matter what, because the struggle you're in today is preparing you for the strength you'll need tomorrow. Never forget that the pain you feel today will become the power you carry tomorrow. And when you finally reach that mountaintop, you'll look back and realize it wasn't the victory that made you strong. It was the climb. Every dream begins as a whisper in your soul, a quiet vision that only you can see, something that keeps you awake at night and pushes you to imagine a life bigger than the one you're living now. But dreams, no matter how powerful, mean nothing without action. It's not enough to want it. It's not enough to talk about it. The world is full of people who have dreams but never do anything about them. The difference between those who make their dreams a reality and those who just wish for them is simple: action. You've got to move. You've got to grind. You've got to show up even when you don't feel like it. You can have the most beautiful vision in the world, but if you don't take that first step, it's just a fantasy. Every great achievement started with someone deciding to act. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect plan. They started with what they had, where they were, and they made it happen. You see, waiting for the perfect time is just another form of fear. People say, I'll start when I have more money, more time, more support. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. You have to make the moment perfect by taking action. When you take that first step, you send a signal to the universe that you're serious about your dream. You're telling yourself, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm ready. And once you start moving, something powerful happens. Momentum. Momentum is everything. The more you move, the more energy you build and the more doors begin to open, but you'll never experience that momentum if you don't take the first step. That's the hardest part, the beginning. That's where most people stop. They overthink, they doubt themselves, they make excuses, and they never move. But those who decide to act, no matter how small the action, they're the ones who start to see change. Think about a rocket. The most energy it ever uses is at liftoff. It burns more fuel in those few minutes than it does for the rest of the flight. Why? Because breaking free from the ground takes power. It takes force. It takes massive effort. Your dreams are the same way. The beginning will always be the hardest. The grind will be heavy. The results will be slow, and the progress will seem invisible. But if you just keep pushing, if you just keep working, you'll start to rise. Once that rocket breaks through gravity, it moves freely toward the stars. That's what happens when you commit to consistent action. You begin to rise. Too many people get stuck in the someday mindset. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll write that book. Someday I'll change my life. But someday never comes. The only real moment you have is now. The longer you wait, the further away your dream gets. Every day you don't take action, your confidence weakens and your fear grows stronger. The only way to silence that fear is to move. Every time you take action, even a small one, you build courage. Courage isn't something you're born with. It's something you create through action. You have to understand that action doesn't always mean you'll succeed right away. Sometimes you'll fail. Sometimes you'll make mistakes. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every mistake you make teaches you something. Every wrong turn helps you find the right path. You can't learn by standing still. You can only learn by moving. And that's what separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers think, doers act. Action creates clarity. When you start moving, things that seem blurry start to make sense. You begin to see what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. But if you keep waiting for the plan to be perfect, you'll never start. The truth is, no one has it all figured out. Every successful person you admire began with uncertainty. They didn't know all the answers. They just trusted the process and kept going. You can't steer a parked car. You have to get moving before you can change direction. And yes, it's scary. Taking action means stepping out of your comfort zone. It means risking failure. It means facing rejection. But comfort never created greatness. Comfort keeps you average, keeps you stuck, keeps you small. Growth begins the moment you decide to leave that comfort zone behind. Every act of courage, no matter how small, expands your limits. It builds your strength. It makes you unstoppable. You might say, but what if I'm not ready? Nobody's ever fully ready. That's the secret. The only way to become ready is to start. The moment you take action, you start becoming the person who can handle the dream you're chasing. Growth doesn't happen before the journey. It happens during it. You're shaped by the challenges you face, the obstacles you overcome, and the persistence you build along the way. Every step you take, even the ones that don't go as planned, moves you closer to your vision. Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't failure, it's hesitation. You stand at the edge of your dream, and instead of jumping, you keep asking, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does? What if this one step changes everything? You'll never know until you move. Every success story starts with a moment of decision, a moment where someone said, enough is enough. I'm doing this. That's the moment that changes lives. There'll be times when your actions don't seem to make a difference. You'll work hard and it'll feel like nothing's happening. But remember this, growth happens beneath the surface. Just like a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout immediately, but beneath the soil, roots are forming, foundations are being built. That's what your effort is doing. Even when you can't see it, your work is creating progress. The key is to stay consistent. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality. Anybody can take action once. But the people who win are those who show up every single day when they're tired, when they're discouraged, when no one's watching. You can't sprint your way to success. It's a marathon. It's built one brick at a time, one day at a time. Those small daily actions might seem insignificant now, but over time, they become unstoppable momentum. You have to wake up every morning with a decision. I'm going to move forward today. It doesn't matter how small the step is. Progress is progress. The only failure is standing still. Every single day, do something that moves you closer to your dream. Write one page, make one call, learn one skill, save $1. Every little action compounds into something powerful. Before you know it, what once felt impossible becomes your reality. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. You can talk all day about what you want to do, but talk doesn't change your life. Action does. Every time you act, you shift your reality. You change your story. You prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You build belief through movement. The more you do, the more confident you become. And here's the truth. You don't need to have it all together to start. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need permission. All you need is the courage to take the next step. Because action has a way of creating opportunities you couldn't see before. Doors open when you start moving. People notice. The universe responds to effort, but it only moves when you do. So stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop waiting for everything to line up perfectly. Just start. Take one step, then another and another. Every act of effort matters. Every moment you choose to act rather than doubt brings you closer to becoming who you were meant to be. Because in the end, success isn't about luck. It's about motion. It's about choosing to move forward, even when the road is uncertain. The greatest risk you'll ever take is not failing. It's doing nothing. It's looking back one day and realizing you never even tried. Don't let fear rob you of your future. Move, act, build, do something today that your future self will thank you for, because the dream you have, the life you want, is waiting for you on the other side of action. There comes a moment in everyone's journey when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when every door you knock on stays shut, when every plan you make falls apart, and when the people you thought would stand with you suddenly vanish. In those moments, your spirit begins to question itself. You start to wonder if you're really meant for this, if your dream is worth all the pain, if you even have the strength to keep going. That's where your inner strength is tested. That's when you find out who you really are, because strength isn't built when life is easy. It's built when you have every reason to quit, but you keep going anyway. Inner strength isn't something you're born with. It's something life develops in you. It's forged in the fire of adversity, shaped through loss, disappointment, and failure. You don't discover how strong you are when things are going your way. You discover it when everything collapses, when you're standing in the wreckage of your plans and you still find a way to move forward. That's real strength, not the kind that flexes in front of others, but the kind that stands tall in silence when no one's around to cheer for you. You see, people often mistake strength for being unbreakable. But true strength isn't about never falling apart. It's about finding the courage to rebuild yourself every time you do. Life will break you down. It will test your limits. It will push you to your knees. But that's not where your story ends. That's where it begins. Because the moment you choose to rise again, the moment you decide that your pain won't define you, that's the moment your inner power awakens. Sometimes you have to lose everything to discover what's really inside you. When you strip away the comfort, the approval, the support, you're left with the raw truth of who you are. You realize that your strength doesn't come from things. It comes from within. It's born from your heart, your faith, your persistence. That's why some of the strongest people you'll ever meet are the ones who've been through the most. They've been knocked down, betrayed, broken, but they got back up. And when they did, they were stronger than before. The truth is, your strength grows in the moments of struggle. Every time you face something that seems impossible and keep going, you add another layer to your character. Every sleepless night, every tear you wipe away, every fear you confront, it all builds you. It's like lifting weights for your soul. The heavier the burden, the stronger you become when you lift it. That's why you can't run from your challenges. You have to face them. You have to let them refine you. There will be days when you'll want to give up, days when the pain feels too deep, when your faith feels too small. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the moments that define your future. You see, diamonds are created under pressure. Without that pressure, they're just stones. Without that fire, gold never shines. Your trials are not here to destroy you. They're here to shape you, to make you unbreakable. Sometimes the people around you won't understand your fight. They'll tell you to quit, to settle, to stop chasing something so difficult. But they don't see what you see. They don't feel the fire inside of you. They weren't given your vision for a reason. It's yours alone. That's why your inner strength has to come from within, not from the approval of others. Because if your strength depends on people cheering for you, it'll disappear the moment they stop. But if it comes from your heart, from your belief, from your purpose, nothing can shake it. You might feel like the world is against you. But that's when you must remind yourself, you've been through worse. You've survived pain that others couldn't handle. You faced storms and still found a way to stand. You fought battles no one even knows about, and you're still here. You are stronger than your doubts, tougher than your fears, and greater than your failures. The proof is that you've made it this far. You're still fighting. And as long as you keep fighting, you're winning. Inner strength is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't boast. It shows up in the silence when you're tired but still choose to work. It shows up when you forgive someone who doesn't deserve it. It shows up when you keep believing even when the odds are against you. It's that unshakable faith that says, I don't know how, but I will. That's the kind of strength that moves mountains. Building inner strength means learning to control your thoughts, because your mind is the battlefield where victory begins. The moment you start telling yourself, I can't do this, you've already lost. But when you shift that voice and say, I can and I will, everything changes. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond. And your response determines your destiny. That's the secret strong people know. They don't let circumstances dictate their mindset. They decide who they're going to be no matter what happens. There will be seasons of isolation where you feel like no one understands you, where the journey feels lonely. But solitude is not a punishment. It's a forge. It's where strength is built. When you're alone, you hear your own thoughts more clearly. You connect with your purpose. You realize that you don't need the world's approval to move forward. You don't need applause to stay motivated. You just need to remember why you started. Inner strength also comes from faith, from believing that everything you're going through has a reason. You might not see it now, but every challenge, every delay, every heartbreak is preparing you for something greater. Sometimes God will strip away everything comfortable to build something eternal inside you. You'll cry, you'll question, you'll fight, but when you come out on the other side, you'll understand that it was all necessary. Pain becomes purpose. Struggle becomes strength. There will be moments when your dreams feel too far away, when it feels like no matter how hard you try, nothing changes. But that's when you must trust the process. Strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in consistency. Every day you show up, every day you give your best, you're building something powerful inside you. And one day, all those small acts of perseverance will add up to something incredible. You have to keep reminding yourself, storms don't last forever. Pain doesn't last forever. But the strength you gain from enduring them, that lasts for life. That becomes part of who you are. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every wound becomes a reminder of resilience. You've made it through 100% of your worst days. That means you have a perfect track record of survival. Don't underestimate that. Don't let temporary pain make you forget your permanent power. Inner strength is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about admitting when it's hard and choosing to move forward anyway. It's not about smiling all the time. It's about fighting through the tears. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having the faith to take the next step, even when you can't see the whole path. That's courage. That's strength. You might not feel strong right now, but strength isn't a feeling. It's a decision. It's waking up and saying, I refuse to give up. It's looking at the mountain in front of you and deciding to climb it anyway. Every time you make that choice, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your circumstances. And one day you'll look back on everything you thought was meant to break you and you'll realize it built you. You'll realize that the pain didn't destroy you. It transformed you. The things that once made you cry will now make you proud. Because they didn't defeat you, they defined you. That's what inner strength does. It takes every broken piece of your story and turns it into a masterpiece. So when life gets hard don't run, don't hide, stand tall, face it. Believe in the power that lives inside you because you are far stronger than you think. You've survived storms you never thought you could. You've risen from pain that once felt unbearable, and you'll do it again because that's who you are. A fighter. A survivor, a warrior. And no matter how many times life knocks you down, you will always rise again, stronger, wiser, and unbreakable. There comes a time when the noise of the world becomes too loud, when doubt, fear, and failure start to drown out your belief in yourself. You begin to question whether you're capable, whether you're enough, whether the dream you've been chasing is even worth it anymore. And it's in those moments when everything seems to be slipping away that you have to find something within you, something that no one else can give you and no one else can take away. That something is belief, the belief that you are capable, the belief that you were made for more, the belief that no matter how many times you've fallen, you still have the power to rise again. Belief is the foundation of everything. It's the spark that ignites every action, the fuel that drives every dream, and the force that carries you when everything else fails. Without belief, your talent doesn't matter. Your education doesn't matter. Your opportunities don't matter. Because if you don't believe you can win, you've already lost before the battle even begins. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to stop believing even after they fail. When life gets tough, and it will, you have to learn to hold on to your belief like it's your lifeline. Because sometimes that's all you'll have. There will be days when nothing seems to go your way, when the world feels cold, when the people you thought would stand by you disappear. You'll feel invisible, forgotten, and alone. But that's where your belief becomes your greatest weapon. When no one else believes in you, you must believe in yourself twice as hard. When everyone doubts your dream, you must remind yourself that their doubt is not your destiny. Belief isn't about pretending things are easy. It's about trusting yourself even when things are hard. It's standing firm when the wind is against you. It's saying, I don't know how, but I'll find a way. Because the truth is, you've already proven that you're capable of more than you think. Look back at everything you've survived. Look back at all the times you thought it was over, but somehow you made it through. You got a 100% success rate of surviving your worst days. That's not luck, that's strength. That's resilience. That's belief in action. You see, your belief shapes your world. If you believe you can't, you'll find 100 reasons why you can't. But if you believe you can, you'll find one reason why you must. The mind is powerful. It will always follow the story you tell it. So if your story is filled with fear, you'll live in fear. But if your story is filled with faith, you'll live in power. That's why belief isn't just an idea. It's a decision. It's a daily choice to say, I can, I will, I must. There are people out there who had less than you, who started with nothing, who faced greater obstacles, and they made it. Not because they were smarter, not because they were luckier, but because they refused to stop believing. Every time life told them no, they answered back, watch me. Every time they were knocked down, they got up again. Every time someone said it couldn't be done, they did it anyway, because belief doesn't wait for permission. It creates its own path. When you believe in yourself, something incredible happens. You stop asking for validation. You stop waiting for others to tell you it's okay to dream. You stop needing approval. You start walking in purpose, because belief gives you confidence, and confidence gives you power. Power to face your fears, power to keep going, power to silence the doubts that try to control you. And that's when everything changes, not because your situation suddenly gets easier, but because you get stronger. But make no mistake, belief will be tested. Life will challenge it. There will be moments that shake your faith, moments when you'll wonder if it's all worth it. And that's exactly when belief matters most. It's easy to believe when everything's going right. It's when everything's falling apart that true belief is born. When the lights go out, when the doors close, when the world says you're finished, that's when belief whispers, keep going. Belief is not about seeing the finish line. It's about trusting that one exists. You might not see how it's going to happen. You might not understand why things are taking so long. But faith says, even though I can't see it, I know it's there. That's the power of belief. It sees light even in the dark. It sees victory even in defeat. It sees purpose even in pain. You have to learn to believe in yourself, even when the evidence around you says otherwise. Even when the bank account is empty, when the opportunity doesn't show up, when the results aren't visible yet. Because belief comes before results. You don't wait to believe until you see it. You believe until it becomes real. The world says, I'll believe it when I see it. But the great ones say, I'll see it when I believe it. That's the difference. Belief is contagious. When you carry it, people feel it. They see it in the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you refuse to quit. They see that you're not just hoping, you're certain. And that certainty attracts everything you need. People start believing in you because they see how much you believe in yourself. That's how leaders are made, not through words, but through conviction. Sometimes the only way to strengthen your belief is through struggle. You have to go through situations that seem impossible so you can see what's possible. You have to face the mountain so you can learn how to climb. You have to face the storm so you can learn how to stand. Because belief that's never tested is belief that's never proven. Every trial you face is an opportunity to build your faith stronger, deeper, unshakable. There will be times when your own mind turns against you, when doubt whispers you're not good enough. You have to fight that voice. You have to answer back with truth. I am capable. I am chosen. I am built for this. You have to train your mind to serve your vision, not sabotage it. Because if you let doubt control your thoughts, it will destroy your destiny before it even begins. But if you fill your thoughts with belief, you'll begin to create the life you've always wanted. Belief is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's what gives you the courage to take the first step when you don't know where it will lead. It's what keeps you walking when the path gets rough. And it's what carries you when your strength runs out. Because belief isn't just mental, it's spiritual. It's that divine voice inside that says, keep going. You were made for more. Even when you fail, don't stop believing. Failure doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're learning. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every detour is part of the journey. You're not losing. You're being redirected. And if you stay faithful, if you stay committed, if you keep believing, you will find that every disappointment was guiding you towards something greater. Sometimes the world won't believe in you because they can't see what you see. That's okay. Your dream wasn't given to them. It was given to you. So stop waiting for others to understand it. Stop explaining yourself to people who can't see your vision. Your belief is enough. Your drive is enough. Your commitment is enough. All you need to do is keep going. Because when you truly believe in yourself, there's no mountain too high, no storm too strong, no challenge too big. You start walking differently. You start thinking differently. You start living differently. You no longer let fear dictate your choices. You let faith lead the way. And one day, when you finally reach that moment of victory, you'll look back and realize it wasn't your resources. It wasn't your luck. It wasn't even your talent that got you there. It was your belief, the belief that refused to die, the belief that kept you standing when everything else was falling apart, the belief that turned your I can't into I did. So when the world tells you it's impossible, when your mind tries to convince you to quit, when everything feels like it's working against you, remind yourself of who you are. You are stronger than fear. You are greater than doubt. You are capable of everything you've dreamed of and more. All you have to do is believe. Believe in your vision. Believe in your purpose. Believe in your power. Because the moment you truly believe, nothing and no one can stop you. You've got to understand something deep. Life isn't about waiting for everything to line up perfectly. It's about holding on to your purpose, your why, even when everything else is falling apart. When you know your why, the how doesn't matter. When you know your why, you can push through the sleepless nights, the rejection, the pain, the struggle, the fear, because the why gives you power. The why gives you direction. The why gives you a reason to get up when life keeps knocking you down. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent. They fail because they forget why they started. They lose sight of the mission. They lose sight of that fire that once burned in their chest. Think about it. Every single person who ever made it big, who ever reached greatness, had a reason that was bigger than the pain. Michael Jordan didn't play through injuries because basketball was fun. He played through them because his why was to be the best to ever touch the court. Thomas Edison didn't try 1,000 times because he liked failure. He tried because his why was to light up the world. When your why is strong enough, you'll do whatever it takes. You'll go through hell and back to make it happen. You'll get rejected, laughed at, doubted, and still keep showing up because you're not doing it for approval. You're doing it for purpose. When you forget your why, everything becomes heavy. You start questioning if it's worth it. You start doubting if you're meant for it. But when you stay connected to your why, nothing can stop you. The why reminds you that the grind isn't punishment, it's preparation. The why reminds you that every setback is a setup. The why reminds you that pain has a purpose. It's building something in you that comfort never could. You've got to stop running from the hard days and start remembering what you're running toward. You didn't come this far just to quit. You didn't wake up early, sacrifice sleep, and fight through tears just to walk away empty-handed. You did all that because there's something inside of you that refuses to settle. That's your why. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your dream. Maybe it's the younger version of you who still believes you can do it. Whatever it is, that's your fuel. That's your reason to keep going when everything in you says stop. Every champion has faced moments of doubt. Every warrior has felt like giving up. But the reason they didn't stop is because their why wouldn't let them. When you want to quit, your why whispers, remember why you started. When you're tired, your why says one more round. When it feels impossible, your why screams, keep going. That's the voice you've got to listen to. That's the fire you've got to protect. Because the world will try to distract you. The world will throw noise, criticism, and obstacles in your way. But if your why is strong enough, it'll silence the noise. Too many people are focused on the how. They worry about how they'll get there, how they'll find the money, how they'll make it work. But the truth is, you'll never figure out the how until you commit to the why. Once your why is clear, the path reveals itself. The opportunities start appearing. The doors start opening because the universe respects a determined heart. It respects a soul that knows what it wants. You can't half commit to your dreams and expect full results. You can't walk towards success with hesitation. You've got to move with conviction, and conviction comes from purpose. Some of you are tired right now because you've been chasing goals that don't belong to you. You've been running after other people's dreams. That's why you're burned out, because your soul isn't in it. But when your why aligns with who you really are, energy flows through you. You wake up excited. You move with passion. You don't need motivation, because purpose becomes your fuel. You can't fake that. You can't buy that. You've got to find it inside of you. Close your eyes for a moment and think about what your life would look like if you achieved everything you've been fighting for. Think about the people who would be impacted, the lives that would change, the legacy you would leave. That's your why. It's not just about the money or the fame. It's about meaning. It's about the difference you make, the example you set, the message you leave behind. You're not just living for yourself. You're living for everyone who believes in you, for everyone who needs to see that it's possible. When your why is strong, excuses don't stand a chance. You stop saying I can't and start saying I will. You stop complaining about the process and you start respecting it. You stop waiting for motivation and you start creating momentum, because your why keeps you moving. It gives you energy on days when you have none. It gives you clarity when everything feels confusing. It gives you hope when all you see is darkness. There will be days when it feels like you're making no progress, days when it feels like nobody cares. But remember this, purpose doesn't need applause. Purpose needs persistence. You're not doing this for validation. You're doing this because something inside you refuses to die quiet. Your why is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It's what makes the difference between those who quit and those who make history. Don't let fear make you forget your reason. Don't let pain make you forget your mission. Every time you want to quit, remind yourself, you started this because something inside told you there's more to life than what you're living. There's more to you than what the world sees. And the only way to prove it is to keep going. You might not have all the answers right now, but that's okay. The how will come. The path will clear. But it only happens when your why burns stronger than your doubt. So the next time you're tired, the next time you want to stop, look in the mirror and say, I remember why I started. Say it until you believe it. Say it until your body moves, even when your mind doesn't want to, because that's what separates winners. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on purpose. Feelings fade, but purpose stays. Feelings change, but purpose drives. You've got something in you that the world needs. You've got a story that's not finished yet. You've got a dream that's waiting to be realized. It won't happen by accident. It'll happen because you kept going when it was hard. It'll happen because you refuse to forget your why. That's your power. That's your foundation. Hold on to it. Protect it. Feed it. Because when you live from your why, the how always finds a way. Life will not always be sunshine and comfort. There will be days when clouds gather, when storms rage, when it feels like everything you built is falling apart. But storms don't last forever. You've got to hold on to that truth when everything around you screams chaos. You've got to remind yourself that no matter how strong the wind blows, it cannot blow forever. The rain can fall heavy, but eventually it stops. The thunder might roar, but even it fades into silence. What you're facing right now, the pain, the loss, the uncertainty, it's not permanent. It's a season, and seasons always change. You've just got to make it through this one. When the storm comes, most people panic. They start questioning everything. Why me? Why now? Why is life so unfair? But the strong, the ones who rise, they don't waste energy blaming the storm. They brace themselves. They plant their feet, tighten their grip, and decide that no matter how hard it gets, they're not going anywhere, because they know something that most people forget. Storms are temporary, but what you learn from them lasts forever. Every storm leaves behind something. It may not be comfort, but it leaves strength. It leaves resilience. It leaves wisdom. You've got to understand that storms have purpose. They come to test you, not to destroy you. They come to expose your weakness so you can strengthen it. They come to strip away what's fake, what's fragile, what doesn't belong in your next level. You may think you're losing everything, but sometimes the storm is clearing the path for something greater. You might be crying right now, but tomorrow those tears will turn into fuel. You'll look back and realize that the storm didn't break you. It built you. When you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see the end. The sky looks dark. The rain feels endless. But if you've ever been through something before and made it out, you already know light always finds its way back. You survived every bad day you've ever had. You've been through storms before. You've seen pain, heartbreak, failure, and you're still here. That means this one won't take you out either. You might bend, but you won't break. You might fall, but you'll rise again, because that's what fighters do. The problem is that too many people give up in the middle of the storm. They stop fighting when it's hardest. They stop believing when it's darkest. But that's exactly when you got to push harder, because the moment you want to quit is usually the moment right before things start to change. The breakthrough doesn't come in the calm. It comes when the storm is at its peak. You've got to hold on when everything in you says let go. You've got to trust that the same God who brought you to it will bring you through it. You can't run from every difficulty. You can't pray for an easy life and expect to grow strong. Diamonds are made under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. Strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from resistance. The storm is shaping you into something powerful, something unstoppable. When it's over, you'll look back and realize that without that pain, you wouldn't have grown into who you are meant to be. Stop fearing the storm and start learning from it. Every setback, every loss, every disappointment carries a lesson. Sometimes it teaches patience. Sometimes it teaches faith. Sometimes it teaches you to depend on yourself when no one else believes in you. Whatever the lesson is, you can't learn it by running away. You learn it by standing firm, by holding on, even when your hands are shaking, even when your heart feels heavy. You learn it by refusing to give up. You've got to remember, nothing worth having comes easy. Success, peace, love, purpose, they're all forged through struggle. You can't appreciate calm waters if you've never survived a storm. You can't understand victory if you've never tasted defeat. So when life throws its hardest blows, don't see it as punishment. See it as preparation. The pain you feel right now is building endurance for the blessings that are coming next. When it rains, most people run for cover. But some people, the rare few, they dance in it. They find joy in the middle of chaos. They don't wait for life to be perfect to be grateful. They understand that even in the storm, there's beauty, the sound of the rain, the power of the wind, the freshness of the air afterward. It all reminds us that life keeps moving. It doesn't stop for anyone. So why should you? You've got to anchor yourself in faith. Faith that things will get better. Faith that the pain will pass. Faith that you were built for more than the storm. Because the truth is, if life gave you the storm, it's because life knows you can handle it. You're not weak. You're being strengthened. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. You may not understand it now, but one day it'll all make sense. And when that day comes, when the clouds finally part and the sun shines again, you'll see what the storm left behind: a stronger you, a wiser you, a version of you that knows how to stand tall no matter what. You'll see that the storm didn't take anything from you that you truly needed. It only took what was holding you back. It only removed the distractions, the fear, the self-doubt. It cleared the way for your greatness to emerge. Don't let temporary pain make you forget your permanent purpose. The rain will stop. The winds will fade. But if you quit now, you'll never see what was waiting on the other side. You've got to outlast it. You've got to keep your head up even when the storm is screaming in your face. Because every second you survive, you're getting stronger. Every minute you endure, you're proving that you're not made to break. Sometimes the storm comes not to test your strength, but to show you that you already have it. You think you can't make it, and then you do. You think you're finished, but something inside you refuses to die. That's your spirit, your fire, your will to fight. That's the part of you that storms can't touch. That's the part that keeps you alive. So don't give up just because it's hard. Don't let the darkness convince you the light isn't coming. The sun doesn't disappear. It's just hidden behind the clouds. The same light that once warmed your face is still there, waiting for the right moment to shine again. But you've got to hold on until it does. You've got to keep walking even when the road is slippery, even when your feet are tired, because every step you take through the storm is a step closer to the calm. One day you'll tell your story, how you survived, how you kept believing, how you didn't let the storm destroy you, and someone else, someone going through their own storm will find hope in your words. That's the power of endurance. That's the power of refusing to give up. The storm you're facing today will become someone else's inspiration tomorrow. So breathe, wipe the rain from your eyes, lift your head. You're still standing. You're still here. The storm hasn't won because you haven't quit. And as long as you keep standing, you're winning. The skies will clear. The light will return. And when it does, you'll realize you didn't just survive the storm. You became stronger because of it. The difference between winners and losers has never been luck, talent, or opportunity. It's perseverance. Winners are not born. They are made through pain, struggle, and an unshakable will to keep going no matter what. Losers quit when it gets hard. Winners push harder. Losers let fear make their decisions. Winners face fear and move through it anyway. Life doesn't reward the fastest or the smartest. It rewards the one who refuses to stop when everyone else has already given up. Perseverance isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It's exhausting. It's the quiet grind that nobody sees. It's the early mornings when the world is still asleep and you're out there chasing your dream. It's the late nights when your body aches. Your mind is tired, but you're still pushing because you made a promise to yourself that you wouldn't quit. That's what separates the winners. They don't listen to the voice that says stop. They listen to the voice that says just one more time. Every great person you've ever admired, the athlete, the entrepreneur, the artist, the leader, they all have one thing in common: perseverance. They've all failed, fallen, and faced moments when it seemed impossible, but they got back up. They kept showing up. They kept believing even when the results didn't come. They weren't driven by how they felt. They were driven by their purpose. That's the secret. Perseverance is not about how strong you start. It's about how long you can keep going when it hurts. You've got to understand the path to success is not straight. It's filled with detours, breakdowns, and dead ends. You'll be tested over and over again. You'll face rejection, criticism, and failure. But every obstacle is a question life asks you: how bad do you want it? Every time you keep moving forward, no matter how slow, you answer that question. You prove to life that you're not here to play. You're here to win. Losers look for shortcuts. They want the reward without the struggle. They want the comfort without the commitment. But winners embrace the grind. They know the process is where greatness is built. The sweat, the tears, the hours of work nobody applauds. That's where the real transformation happens. Perseverance isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You don't have to move fast. You just have to refuse to stop moving. You see, perseverance doesn't mean you never get tired. It means that even when you're tired, you don't stop. You rest, but you don't quit. You cry, but you keep going. You fall, but you get back up. Because the only way to truly fail is to stop trying. Every setback, every mistake, every delay is part of the process. Winners don't see failure as the end. They see it as feedback. They learn, adjust, and keep pushing. That's what perseverance looks like. It's the will to continue when there's no guarantee of success. Sometimes you'll have to move forward alone. The people who started with you may not finish with you. Some will doubt you. Some will laugh. Some will walk away. That's okay, because perseverance teaches you independence. It teaches you how to believe in yourself even when no one else does. It teaches you how to fight for your vision when the world tells you to give up. It's in those moments of solitude that character is forged. You start to realize that you don't need validation. You need discipline. You don't need approval. You need endurance. Winners understand that the grind doesn't stop when it gets uncomfortable. That's when it begins. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. You've got to get used to being uncomfortable. You've got to learn to find peace in the struggle, because the struggle is proof that you're growing. The pain you feel now is not punishment. It's progress. Every challenge you survive makes you tougher. Every delay you endure strengthens your patience. Every no you hear sharpens your determination. Perseverance is what keeps you grounded when life shakes you. It's what keeps your vision alive when the world tells you it's impossible. It's what makes you get up after every defeat with the same hunger you had at the beginning. Winners aren't people who never lose. They're people who never stop coming back. That's what makes them unstoppable. Not talent, not money, not luck, persistence. Think about all the times you wanted to quit. Think about the days when you felt like everything you were doing was pointless. And yet here you are, still standing. That's perseverance. It's not about never breaking. It's about refusing to stay broken. It's about turning pain into power and setbacks into setups. It's about walking through the fire and coming out stronger on the other side. There will always be someone faster, smarter, more gifted than you. But if you can outlast them, if you can endure what they can, you'll win every time. Because talent fades when life gets tough. Skill means nothing if you can't handle pressure. Perseverance outlasts everything. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be the last one standing. You'll have days when nothing seems to work. You'll question if it's worth it, if you're wasting your time. But in those moments, remind yourself, growth takes time. Trees don't sprout overnight. Mountains aren't built in a day. Every little effort, every drop of sweat, every moment of faith is shaping something bigger than you can see. Perseverance is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. When you keep showing up, even when it's hard, you send a message to life, I'm not going anywhere. That's when the universe starts to move in your favor. That's when doors start opening. That's when opportunities find you, because life respects those who refuse to quit. The more you push through, the more you attract what you're fighting for. It's easy to start strong. Everyone is motivated in the beginning. But perseverance is what keeps the fire alive when the motivation fades. Motivation is temporary. Perseverance is permanent. It's built through discipline, sacrifice, and the decision to keep going no matter what. It's waking up every day and doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Because feelings come and go, but perseverance stays. There will come a moment when you've been pushing, grinding, believing, and suddenly everything will click. The pieces will fall into place. The results will come. And you'll look back and realize that every sleepless night, every setback, every tear was worth it. Because perseverance always pays off. It doesn't always pay off quickly, but it always pays off completely. So when life hits you, don't fold. When you fall, don't stay down. When they doubt you, don't listen. Keep going, keep fighting, keep believing. Because the difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't luck. It's perseverance. The winners you admire didn't have it easy. They just refused to stop. They showed up when others stayed home. They kept moving when others froze. That's what made them champions. You can be that person too. The one who never quits, the one who takes every hit and keeps coming back, the one who outlasts the pain, the rejection, the silence. Because in the end, perseverance always wins. Not today, not tomorrow, but one day. And when that day comes, you'll understand why you never gave up. The world doesn't remember those who started strong. It remembers those who finish, no matter what it took to get there. When you finally decide to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating your own legacy, you realize something powerful. Time is the most precious thing you have, and wasting it is the most expensive mistake you can ever make. The truth is, nobody is going to hand you your purpose. Nobody is going to build your dream for you. Nobody is going to call you one morning and say, hey, your legacy is ready. Come pick it up. You have to grind for it. You have to bleed for it. You have to create it from scratch with your bare hands, your sleepless nights, your failures, and your unshakable belief that you were born for something greater than mediocrity. People keep saying they're waiting for a sign, waiting for the right time, waiting for motivation, waiting for resources. But the longer you wait, the further your dream drifts away. The world doesn't stop for your hesitation. The clock keeps ticking. The opportunity keeps fading. Every second you spend doubting yourself is a second stolen from the life you could be living. Building your legacy is not about luck. It's about intentional action. It's about waking up every single day with a fire inside you that says, I will not let today go to waste. You don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start. The greatest achievers didn't have all the answers when they began. They stumbled, they failed, they fell on their faces, but they got back up and tried again. The difference between people who make history and those who get forgotten isn't talent, it's persistence. Every person who ever created something that outlived them had moments where they felt like giving up, moments where they thought they weren't good enough, moments where everything seemed impossible, but they didn't quit. That's what separates a legend from a spectator, refusing to stop when it gets hard. The reality is your legacy is being written every single day, whether you're conscious of it or not. The way you speak, the way you act, the way you treat people, the effort you give, the consistency you show. It all builds the story that will one day be told about you. So ask yourself, what story are you writing right now? When people talk about you after you're gone, what will they say? Will they remember you as someone who talked about dreams but never chased them? Or will they remember you as someone who turned every obstacle into a stepping stone and built something that inspired others to believe in themselves? You get to decide that. You have that power. Most people don't fail because they lack opportunity. They fail because they lack belief. They see themselves as ordinary, so they live ordinary lives. But legacy builders see themselves differently. They don't wait for validation. They don't wait for someone to tell them it's okay to dream big. They give themselves permission to rise. You have to stop asking the world for approval to live your purpose. The world didn't give you your dream, so it doesn't have the right to take it away. Your legacy begins the moment you stop listening to doubt and start listening to destiny. You might not have the support. You might not have the money. You might not even have the plan. But if you have heart, you already have everything you need to begin. There's a reason why the word create is so powerful. It means to bring something into existence that wasn't there before. That's what legacy is. It's creating meaning from your pain, purpose from your struggle, and success from your persistence. Every time you push through when it would be easier to quit, you're building your legacy. Every time you stay disciplined when nobody's watching, you're building your legacy. Every time you take the harder road because it leads to growth, you're building your legacy. Legacy is not one big achievement. It's a collection of small decisions made with purpose, stacked over years of consistency and effort. People will doubt you. They'll question you. They'll tell you that your dreams are unrealistic. But remember, they're not supposed to understand your vision. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Don't let small minds convince you that your dream is too big. Your legacy won't be built by fitting in. It'll be built by standing out. You're not meant to walk the same path as everyone else. You're meant to carve your own. When people laugh, keep working. When people criticize, keep improving. When people walk away, keep moving forward. Because one day, the same people who doubted you will say, I always knew they'd make it. You don't need to be born great to build a legacy. You need to decide to become great. Greatness is a decision you make every morning when you wake up. It's choosing discipline over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and vision over excuses. Legacy builders are not people who had it easy. They're people who kept going when it was hard. You might not have control over where you started, but you have absolute control over where you finish. The journey won't be fair, but it will be worth it. Every tear, every setback, every lonely night, it's all shaping the story of who you're becoming. And one day you'll look back and realize that the pain was just preparation for the power you were meant to carry. Think about this. Every great name in history had one thing in common. They decided to do something meaningful. They decided to rise when others rested. They decided to leave a mark that would outlive them. You can't build a legacy if you keep living like you have forever. You don't. You have now, right now. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Legacy is built in the moments you think don't matter. The early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices nobody claps for. That's where legends are made. You don't need applause. You need consistency. You don't need validation. You need vision. Because one day when your name is mentioned, it won't be about how much you had. It'll be about how much you gave, how much you inspired, how much you refused to settle. You have to realize that your legacy isn't just about you. It's about everyone who will be inspired by your example. It's about your family, your community, your future generations who will walk past made easier because you dared to believe. Every time you rise, you give someone else permission to rise too. Every time you overcome, you show someone that it's possible. Your legacy is a ripple effect. It doesn't end with you. It expands through you. So stop waiting. Start creating. The world is waiting for the version of you that shows up fearless, focused, and on fire. Don't die with your potential still inside you. Let the world see what happens when a human being decides to become unstoppable. You've got one life, one shot, one opportunity to make it count. Don't waste it on doubt. Don't waste it on fear. Don't waste it waiting for someone else to believe in you. Believe in yourself, because the only approval you need is your own. The legacy you leave will be built on the choices you make when nobody's watching, the moments when quitting seems easier, but you keep pushing anyway. You were not put on this earth just to exist. You were put here to create, to inspire, to lead, to leave something that can't be erased. The question is not whether you can, it's whether you will. Will you rise? Will you fight? Will you build something that outlives you? Your legacy is waiting for you to claim it. It's not in the future. It is in this moment, right here, right now. So stop waiting for permission. The world doesn't need another dreamer. It needs a doer. It needs someone like you to create something unforgettable.